Good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to our online friends as well. Welcome to Practitioner Sunday. I recognize it is a little hot in here. That's just Spirit reminding us that we're in the right place. Our theme this month is Loving Out Loud. We've had talks this month about self-love, about not needing to understand in order to be loving, about appreciating the differences in others. Today my talk is titled Baby Steps, and we're going to explore the intentional actions that I'm calling baby steps that lead us into living and loving out loud. The inspiration for today came from two places. One, it came out of the practitioner sessions that I was a part of over the summer of Soul Magic. Thank you to each person who connected with a practitioner. Spirit moved in a mighty way around here, and I feel like we're really changed as a community. The inspiration also came out of my own life. As some of you know, I have been job searching, and I realized along the way that I still had work to do in that area. So have you noticed that sometimes you're ready for what you want and it shows up instantaneously? But other times you treat, you affirm, and the results are not instant. It's because you have to match the level of what you're seeking. There are times that you have more work to do, more inner work to do in your life before it can show up. So for instance, if you pray for more abundance, but you believe that you are lacking, abundance can't show up. Or if you want more love in your life, but underneath you believe that you are not deserving of love, love doesn't arrive. The law always says yes to what we believe. So, if you believe you don't have enough, then that's what the law gives you. And if you believe that you're not deserving of love, then you will receive experiences that support that belief. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. If you take nothing else from today's message, take this. Only you can change your experience. If it's not working, try something else. And keep trying something else until you find what works. Now, some of you are thinking, okay, Brittany, but what should I try? So let's talk about 5 things you can do, 5 baby steps that I believe will radically change your life. I personally think of it as dancing with the divine, inviting spirit to join with me each day. And of course, there's more than 5 that you could do. These are your starting points. When you take the time each day to do the work, you'll notice you have more energy, you're experiencing more joy, you're able to share yourself, your time, your heart with those around you. Living and loving out loud will become the norm instead of the goal. So step 1, decide what type of day you want to have. Immediately upon waking and before you get out of bed. How do you want to feel today? Every day we set the ball rolling in our consciousness with what we want, how we feel. Our mindset today creates our experience tomorrow. Therefore, if we don't tell Spirit and ourselves what we want to experience, then the world shows up and we become reactionary to everything around us. In practice, this could be as simple as selecting a God quality each day that you want more of in your life. Or you could create a short affirmation or mantra for the day. Some of my God qualities this week were wholeness, inspiration, order, and curiosity. And one of my affirmations this week was, I am open and curious about what Spirit has to teach me today. This week was my last one at home before I return to work full-time tomorrow. My to-do list was long, and I had the appearance of a chest cold. And instead of dwelling all week on that stuff, I made the decision to have a good week. I decided that I wanted to feel whole, inspired, curious, and I wanted order in my life. I also decided that I was ready to release fear and instead sit in curiosity and wonder. The unknown doesn't have to be scary. It's just unknown. It's the same situation. It's just a different response. So step 1, decide what type of day you want to have before you get out of bed. Step 2, a daily morning prayer. Now that you have your God quality for the day, share it with Spirit in prayer so that there's absolutely no doubt. Of course, you can pray about other things in your life. This is your time to have a conversation with the divine. Some days I pray in my head, or I write my prayer in a journal, but I prefer to pray out loud. There is tremendous power in your word. When you declare what you want with feeling, and when your body and your soul agree, it shows up. Try praying out loud. I can dare you to pray out loud if that'll help, but I know it will change you. One of my mentors used to say, there is no wrong way to pray. What freedom that truth gives to each one of us. Don't worry about the words or the order or the this or the that. God knows your heart. If you want to do a 5-step affirmative prayer, great, do that. But it's not required. Pray in a way that's comfortable for you. And if you haven't prayed before, think of it as a conversation with a friend. This is when you invite Spirit to dance with you. Your prayer could be as short and sweet as, "Good morning, God. Today I want to experience more wholeness in my life. I know that you are the source of all wholeness. I affirm that I am whole. Thank you, and so it is." If you want to say more or use a different format, go for it. Reverend Lane has spoken before about how she loves to begin her morning by listening to Karen Drucker's song titled Morning Prayer. I'm going to read just the beginning lyrics. It's really beautiful. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let Spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free as I continue walking in this mystery. There's more to the song, and I encourage you to listen to it fully if you haven't heard it before. But whether you sing or speak your prayer, it's a powerful way to set your consciousness for the day. And we've talked before about how our entire lives are a living prayer. Washing the dishes is a form of prayer. Singing is a form of prayer. Every act of service is a prayer, but it doesn't have to be formal or intimidating. The God of the universe wants to give you the desires of your heart and know you more deeply. Yes, God knows all, but we don't. In my conversations with the divine, I learn about myself. More of me is revealed. More of me feels loved, and more of me is ready to do the things that I need to do. So step 1, decide what type of day you want to have. And 2, tell God in a morning prayer. Step 3, grow. It's easy to become stagnant if we aren't doing something regularly that grows and stretches us. As you're answering the question of what type of day you want to have and how you want to feel, notice what's coming up for you. If abundance is what you want more of right now, what are you doing in that area to grow? Can you take a class or borrow some books from our lending library? Do you need to learn something more about something specific? On your spiritual path, are you continuing to grow outside of the services on Sunday? Do you have a spiritual practice each day that includes something like a daily reading, meditation, or journaling? What are you doing that shows spirit that you're serious about your growth? And what are you doing to deepen your relationship with God? There's a phrase we use a lot around here. The phrase is treat and move your feet. In other words, you're not done once you finished your prayer. What actions do you need to take? What information do you need? If you aren't sure, one way to get more information is to meditate and ask Spirit to show you. For those who were here for the mandala coloring, that's another option. Set your intention or ask a question and then begin to color. Your answer may be immediate or it may come later. But when you ask, God will answer. Step 4, gratitude. Now I know I just lost a few of you who think I'm going to encourage you to start a gratitude journal. Yes, you could totally do that if that's what you want to do, but that is not what I'm talking about here in this step. Every day, look for moments where someone does something that you're grateful for and thank them. You can do it in the moment, you can do it later, but be sure to do it. In a time when there is so much complaining, unkindness, asking to speak to a manager, let's do our part to shift back to grace and gratitude. Tell your grocery checker that you picked their line because of their smile and you're grateful for their help. Tell Randy, yes, Randy, that you are deeply grateful that he made the coffee this morning. And for all the Sunday mornings he does that.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Keith.
Thank you, Keith.
Tell Reverend Lane when her message touches your heart or you learn something new. Tell people that you love them and you're grateful for them in your life. It will change you as much as it blesses them. You cannot be in the energy of fear and hate or anger at the same time that you're in the energy of love, appreciation, and joy. So my invitation is to look for the good in everyone, like the song we sing by Jason Mraz. And when you look for the good, you will absolutely find it. Step 5, help. Each day, look for opportunities to help those around you. You could do a random act of kindness for someone. You can help in ways like loading groceries, changing a tire, sharing veggies from your garden, or taking a plate of food to someone. And I invite you to really start paying attention to the people you are around the most often. Is there a need you can fill for them? Does the single mom need a night out? Does your elderly neighbor need help with something around their house? Can you take soup to someone who is sick? Can you extend your circle for Thanksgiving or another holiday? Can you pick up a gift card at the grocery store for someone who desperately needs it? There are so many ways that each one of us can help, and so many gifts and talents that we each bring that we could share. We've highlighted volunteering outside of our center this year. There's even a display of who's volunteering in the new lobby area. If you have a place where you regularly volunteer, thank you. If you're interested in volunteering, there are so many organizations in our community that would love to have your assistance. Find an organization aligned with your heart and give of yourself. But before I close, let me share a story about how I use these steps in my job search. I began looking for a job in April of this year. My resume was updated. I'd upskilled myself. My LinkedIn profile was up to date. I was ready, bring on the jobs. I had just completed a multi-course program for data analytics, so that's where I began. I applied for everything I could. I personalized my resume to these positions, and you know what? It's a full-time job to find a full-time job.
Yeah.
There were hundreds of applicants to many of the positions that I applied for. What was happening for me was that companies had candidates with direct experience in data analytics applying for the same entry-level positions that I was. I had a very kind recruiter talk to me about other ways to break into the data analytics field. One of their suggestions was to find a company doing the type of data analytics that I really wanted to do and to go to work for them in another capacity. Show them what a great employee I am and let them know that I want to move into analytics in the future. Around that same time, my prayer partner asked me what I was doing in consciousness, in my mind and thinking, to find the right and perfect position. They asked because I was frustrated about my search and the lack of interviews I was being offered. And I realized it was like I had compartmentalized my life. I temporarily forgot that Spirit had my back in this area, as well as all the other areas of my life. I had not been praying about my job search. This was a huge turning point for me, and the beginning of how the baby steps kind of came to be. I'd wake up every morning and decide it was a great day. I affirmed that I had the wisdom and discernment to find work. I prayed each morning before stepping out of bed, and then I started to notice the information and ideas coming to me. Instead of applying to everything I was qualified to do, I started doing research on specific local companies. Who is doing good work in the world? Who's committed to diversity and inclusion? What companies value their employees and have demonstrated a work environment that allows for balance, wellness, and growth? I hand-picked the company I start with tomorrow. I hand-picked the position as well. There's a path into data analytics for me there, and I know I will enjoy doing the work that I was hired to do. If I had just kept doing what I was doing, I'd still be frustrated and unemployed. What isn't working in your life? Is there something that you want? So step one, decide what type of day you want to have before getting out of bed each morning. Step two, tell God your decision in prayer. Step three, grow. Show Spirit that you are serious about what you say that you want. Step four, gratitude. Tell people you are grateful for them and why. Step five, help. Share your gifts with those around you. And I'll end with a quote from Joe Godert. Of all of the people you will know in a lifetime, you are the only one you will never leave or lose. To the questions of your life, you are the only answer. To the problems of your life, you are the only solution. Thank you.